My name is David Thompson. I have the honour of being the campaign director of a charity called White Ribbon Scotland. White Ribbon Scotland is an autonomous part of the largest worldwide campaign to address violence against women by involving men in the solution. We accept that violence against women is both a cause and consequence of gender inequality. Our campaign aims to reach out to men to change the attitudes and behaviour which tends to condone violence against women. We educate them about what constitutes violence against women, how prevalent it is, and the adverse effect it has on our society for both men and women. We ask men to take a pledge to say that they would never commit, condone, or remain silent about violence against women in all its forms. This is a starting point to initiate discussion and consideration of those three elements. Most men do not commit it, and it is fair to say that they tend to sign the pledge on that basis alone, and in particular, what an abusive man would see as signalling approval for his actions. This in turn takes us into a discussion about the positive and negative parts of our attitudes and subsequent behaviour. Do we become involved in sexist or even misogynistic thinking or activity, perhaps with very little consideration, and do we see it in the attitudes and behaviour of others? The final part of the pledge queries whether men remain silent about violence against women. This is often the case, as historically men have felt that it is a women's issue. It is happening to women, and many women's groups have formed to address it. So men tend to think that there is no place for them in the effort to end it. However, violence against women is not just a women's issue. It is a human rights issue, it is a societal issue, and it pervades all aspects of our society. We make the point that if we are to achieve genuine attitudinal change, which removes the aspects of behaviour which leads to violence against women, we need most of the population on board with the need for that change. Very simply, that majority opinion cannot be reached unless we include men. A law draws a line in the sand indicating what is unacceptable, but it is attitudinal change which leads our society to a better place. We have seen it with other issues, such as drink driving and smoking in public places, demonstrating how a change in attitudes by a majority of the population can bring about a change in society as a whole. Men are the problem, and not all men commit violence against women, but all men can play a part in ending it. Our silence is seen as approval for the actions of others, for the opinions of the abusers, for the continuation of the high levels of crime linked to violence against women. As one young student working with us put it, when we are not part of the debate, then the fear is that people may think we accept it as a given, but that's not the case. We believe men have a responsibility, not a collective feeling of guilt or shame, but a responsibility to take up the opportunity to bring about change. The main body of work we carry out to effect the required attitudinal changes are our White Ribbon Scotland status projects. With these, we work with a local community to involve more men in addressing issues related to violence against women. Once a significant amount of work has been undertaken, we award White Ribbon status to the community, a tangible award recognising the work carried out to date, at which time they cease to be a project and become a self-sustained, localised White Ribbon campaign. The communities involved in this way can represent geographical areas such as regions or cities. Other current examples include education centres such as schools, colleges and universities, commercial companies, religious groups, public bodies, neighbourhoods, islands, youth forums, football clubs, men's groups of all kinds. Currently, we are at a variety of stages in such projects with over 20 communities across Scotland, from the Borders to Orkney and from Fife to Glasgow. It is essential that these projects have sustainability, which allows existing projects to keep running beyond their award of White Ribbon status, allowing them to remain effective vehicles for change and to exponentially build on each other as we continue to make a difference. The status projects form steering groups to maintain and develop them. They identify volunteer speakers who we train and who thereafter carry out events to spread the messages of our White Ribbon campaign. The projects are encouraged to develop their own branding based on a white ribbon, which gives local ownership and encourages involvement, with the spin-off that it provides a visual statement of their intent and commitment. After a period of time during which the community involved raises awareness of the issue of violence against women and the campaign to address it, the steering group provide a report on their activities for our consideration as to whether they are due the recognition of White Ribbon status. This is awarded in recognition of good work done but we also request a report which outlines how they intend to ensure the project has sustainability, and the award also recognises this determination to remain committed. Our additional activities as an organisation include the appointment of ambassadors, these being people in a position to reach a large audience and who can encourage others to join our efforts to address violence against women. Our ambassadors are mainly elected officials, such as members of Parliament, members of the Scottish Parliament and councillors, but can include religious leaders, senior police officers, college principals, etc. We understand the need for gender equality, and every role in terms of our Board of Trustees, our staff and our volunteers across the status projects can be undertaken by men or women. Everyone can bring their own experience to bear and can innovate in respect of how they progress the White Ribbon campaign as a whole. For example, we are currently working with a group of asylum seekers, and when we ran a similar project in the past, those involved developed a video encouraging men to support and live up to the pledge. This group recognised they could extend the reach of our campaign, which they achieved by producing the video in several different languages, thereby giving it a greater reach with people we may never have had the chance to engage with. This effect on the population as a whole, reaching out through the contacts and opportunities of all those involved, becomes more effective and eventually will become the influencing factor that secures attitudinal change across Scotland. In addition to the status projects, we hold national events and maintain links with other bodies addressing violence against women. We deliver bespoke inputs to a variety of different groups and have a presence on a number of different social media sites, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and LinkedIn. We also sit on the Scottish Parliament cross-party group on men's violence against women and children, through which we contribute to policy change at the highest level. We are delighted to have this opportunity to be a part of the MOOC. Any additional funds we may receive will be put to good use. We deliver a wide variety of inputs across a range of relevant topics, including what is violence against women, the background to the International White Ribbon campaign, why we need to involve men and what can they do, and we discuss bystander theory. We talk to men about peer pressure, gender stereotyping, the level of violence against women in 21st century Scotland. Our work requires commitment and professionalism, but our overheads are kept low, meaning that any additional funding can be put to good use to increase our reach as we strive to deliver the attitudinal changes among men which remains the focus of our work. If anyone in Scotland would like to discuss how they can become involved with White Ribbon Scotland, I can be contacted by email on davy, that's D-A-V-Y, @whiteribbonscotland.org.uk.